Let's play Metal Gear Solid 4. We were in the middle of a vamp fight.
Those are suicide, Gecko. They blow up and they take us with them. You've got to keep them back. I'm sending you data on where to aim. Put a bullet through their brains.
I'd love to have that data on where to aim. Does that show up in the solid eye? Probably. I love this split screen fight here. Just like that. I actually want this one to be first person, so I can aim more precisely. Hard to say. It doesn't seem to be really doing any damage there. That's much better. Yeah. There's a cool cinematic on the right that I can't pay attention to at all, right? I don't remember this at all, although I keep saying that about most of the game. I need ammo. Maybe that's all I have to fight? Oh wait, nope, there's another one. Maybe they'll do a shenanigan to give me my ammo back. Throw me some ammo! You make it to your 160p resolution, looks like 1080p. Let me work my magic. Come on, dude, I can't fight you from there. I see him, man. I don't have enough ammo for all of them. I don't really have any other guns to use if I run out of ammo. Oh wait, here we go. I'm gonna die this time, but we'll win next time. Cool. I'm trying to decide if this sequence is cool or not. It's like they remembered that there were too many cutscenes happening and wanted to put you back in control for a big segment. Yes, yes. Oh, the ammo just keeps spawning back here when you need it. I got it. It's really frustrating, chaos. That bums me out, too. Like, I'm only able to get away with it because I don't need TV for anything, so I can do the business plan at a comparable cost. I even kind of feel icky about the, business plan thing. I should just be able to say, Comcast, screw you for giving me data caps and move on to somebody else, but I have literally no other choice. Hey D-Rock, how you been? Yeah, my speed is garbage. Oh, well, that happened. Thank you for the host, D-Rock. How has Zelda 2 been treating you? Gotta be a little bit more aggressive with, using rations. This segment is long as hell.
Those are suicide.
At least I can start this time with smarter ammo usage. I'm actually not super clear on most of where most of the enemy damage comes from in this fight, to be honest. I get 10 up and down for $125 a month. Unlimited data. And I'm only paying for the business plan so that they take me seriously when I call them, which I feel like should probably be a feature of, you know, the consumer service, that when you call customer service, they help you. That shouldn't be a premium feature of a business line.
that crouched Gecko are blinking. When they stop blinking, it'll glow. Don't let that happen.
Working on it. I need to look at my data usage. I would get hosed on upload alone just from streaming and then uploading the VOD to Twitch. It's about 20 gigs a day in upload only. Oh, it's frustrating that it's so close to the cap, right?
Don't give up.
It'd be one thing if it was like unrestricted, it was 10 times the cap. It's just enough that you have to pay attention to it.
Above you! They're coming from above!
I see them.
That's it, Snake.
Excited to try Peace Walker after this. I've heard good things about it. I didn't really like Portable Ops' implementation of what it was trying to do, but I like the concept. So if it's basically an iteration on Portable Ops, then that's awesome. Oh, that sucks, Yukubo.
That's it, Snake. Just like that, Snake.
Hurry up, Raiden. You guys are enjoying the Raiden versus Vamp cutscene on the right, because I can't really see it while I'm focusing on killing these things. Sort of like playing Rock Band, right? It's like the animations of the Rock Band are for people that are sitting in the room watching.
Watch out, Snake!
I see him. I think they should just give you infinite railgun ammo, because you effectively have infinite railgun ammo. Don't you dare! Ugh. What did I do that was different that time? I shot it in the head like 4 times. Critical path or do side missions as long as they're somewhat interesting. I guess we'll see when we play it. The side mission stuff in Portable Ops was super boring. This is such a long
Those are
sequence.
suicide, Gecko.
I can
blow
buy
up
some
and
from
they take us
Drebin.
with them. You've got to keep them back.
If you have a ration equipped in this game, does it auto heal you when you take critical damage? That's not what killed me that time, but I still don't know what killed me actually. Railgun ammo. Just buy a shitload of it, because who cares? Having to run back is frustrating. Oh, but it gives me an infinite amount. I'll just pick it up. The side missions are actually part of the fun in MGS5. You could see the Matrix really fast in Portable Ops, if I recall correctly. Alright, so 9 minutes on this sequence so far. Is it the little, like, R2-D2 thing on the top of them that takes the most damage?
Nice, Snake.
I thought it was their entire head, but... Flipping rations does heal you when you drop to 0? Okay, thank you. I'll just leave it on ration. And you can see more of the thing on the right. The cutscene's not getting in the way of it. There's actually a lot of gameplay in the side missions.
Damn! Here they come again! Hang in there, Snake! Don't give up!
Kinda sorta get ahead of it in this fight.
Just like that, Snake! Above you!
I see him.
From above! Snake, be careful!
Don't give up. If anyone has a tip on what their weak point is supposed to be, I'll take it. I think it's supposed to be the little radar dome, like with Metal Gear Rex. But I'm not super clear, and sometimes I kill them in 2 hits, and sometimes I kill them in like 6 hits. And I can't tell which one's which. Is it the little box in the front of their face, maybe? Maybe that's what it is. No, it's not that.
That's it, Snake!
Oh, you can charge up your shots to deal more damage? Thanks, I did not know that. Looking out. You just hold down the shoot button, presumably? And I can just be charging it while I'm running around? Oh, I have to be in aim mode to do it. Okay. Good call.
Just like... Watch out, Snake!
Working on it.
That's it, Snake!
Really missing out on the cutscene. Is it magical? Yeah, this is as far as we've gotten. Oh my god. We heard him say kill me both times, so both times we died, we were within seconds of it ending. Ugh. Alright, that only took 13 minutes. First try. You actually dead now, Philomar?
We've got this, Marstead. Where? Ow. Where? First try.
Snake, get out of the way!
Take you to 5 places, like levels in Mario Odyssey? Oh, that's pretty cool, Chaos. Like a travel reward?
Rax. This thing might come in handy after all.
Guessing this is the beginning of a long cutscene sequence, so I'm gonna mute myself and type in chat, take advantage of that low latency
His natural
thing.
healing abilities were enhanced by the nanomachines inside his body. But after so many battles, he's finally reached his limit.
Doctor, ease my pain.
Naomi. Sonny asked me to tell you something.
What is it?
I cooked them right.
I see. Good for you, Sonny. You finally did it. No, I can't save you. have to trust me, Dr. Emmer. Give this to him.
Not for revenge, but to end his suffering.
Now you can return to your true self. You can be at peace. Yes. Forgive me.
This doesn't change anything. Why?
We can't erase the past, nor can we forgive it. And so the only thing we can do is end it. Snake. Liquid's down below us. He's stolen the Patriot system, slipped out of their sight, and taken their Ark.
Ark.
A warship. Unfettered by land, law, country, or network. The only place where they are truly released from the shackles of the Patriots. The place where they can be free. Outer Haven.
Outer Haven.
Liquid plans to launch the nuke from that ship. Snake. You have been given life so that you may fulfill your purpose. When all of this is over, you'll have no choice but to accept death. We are given life only so that we can atone for our sins. Your life was created for that very purpose. We all must atone for our own sins. We must not pass them on to the next generation. We must not leave them for the future. That is your true fate. One that even you cannot defy.
Naomi!
What have you done?
Vamp and I, we are the same. We're living corpses. Our bodies kept barely alive by nanomachines.
Then you...
Cancer. I shouldn't even be alive right now. The nanomachines have kept it from progressing. But there's nothing more they can do. With the nanomachines gone, time will unfreeze and begin to flow again.
What are you saying?
Goodbye. Hell.
Oh, don't!
Give my best to Sonny.
Naomi, don't do it!
Are you crying? For me?
Naomi, why?
You have such beautiful eyes. I'm sorry for everything. Now go!
Let's get moving. Otacon! Come on. Pull yourself together. You're coming.
Snake, you're right. I haven't lost everything yet. I've still got a job to do.
That's right. We need you.
I'm done crying. I don't have any more tears to shed. We have to get out of here.
Any ideas?
Time's running short, so I'll explain as we go. Pay close attention.
I'm listening.
Promise me you'll carry on. Or will.
My controller shut off because of how long that went. That's gonna happen a couple times. Hey, we're in control.
We have to get out of here.
Video games.
Follow the supply
I can
tunnel.
turn on my
Stop
iPod.
those Gecko and head straight for the exit.
I felt super grossed out by all the Apple iPod stuff in this game. It just, I don't know. Sometimes it can add to the immersion of a game. Oh shit, this would have been useful in that last segment.
Check it out before you get started.
Turns out geckos are super weak against Gatling guns. I feel like the previous sequence was designed to make this sequence feel better. The fact that you run into geckos constantly in Shadow Moses. Oh shit, I'm supposed to be moving. Whoops. Oops. This is pretty cool though. Like, this is that Zack Snyder thing, right? Where like the idea of, hey, now you're gonna be inside Metal Gear Rex for a sequence after a nostalgic revisit to Shadow Moses. Pretty great from a video game perspective.
The machine gun's overheated. We need to wait until the barrel cools down.
Video games do not have to be... Like, there's a right way to do nostalgia and a wrong way to do nostalgia. This is probably the right way to come back to it. It felt good in this one, I think, for the most part. I can just walk over them. What's weird, Kodiak? That's a loaded question when it comes to Metal Gear Solid anything. Really? Was there a particular scene that pulled that off? He's good at scenes like that. Metal Gear Solid 3, I think I tear up a bit during the final boss fight. It's executed really well with the swelling music, the way the scene's built up. There's a laser I can charge too. Oh, cool. Thanks. For AoE damage.
I've got your back.
Thanks, dude. So I can't just ignore the enemies. I do have to run through this.
Wait for it to reload.
Can also do melee with it. That's pretty cool. This scene, the long hallway in this game, is one of my favorite in the history of gaming. So give MGS4 shit all I like. That sequence is really, really well done. I think I also had an emotional reaction to that, just the way that the music swells during it, and just about everything else about it. It's very, very well presented. But there's a lot of stuff in this game that does not work very well. How will the Shenmue remasters handle product placement? I think product placement works in Shenmue. I wish we had more of it in the Western release. The Coca-Cola cans and stuff. You can dash with X. Okay, thank you. Rex regenerates health but not taking damage.
Follow the supply. Stop those Gecko and head straight for the exit. Snake, I've made Rex full man. Check it out before we get started.
Thanks for the dash tip. Appreciate that, Hubert. Oh, cool. You're trying to get in on Battle for Azeroth, Kodiak?
Try dashing.
Try, Tom.
Thanks, dude.
That holy shit, what the fuck is that?
Sure. Think you're gonna stream it? Stormblood's pretty good, but you tap it out pretty quickly. Even the newer content. Did you check out Eureka at all, Kodiak? It's a pretty good, slightly less cancerous review of what Final Fantasy XI was like. I feel bad for anyone who attempts it that didn't play 11 and has nothing invested in it. Yeah. I'm not sure what actually causes me to take damage in this sequence. Part of what's making it tricky. I'm probably gonna have to do it one more time, other than one shot at dying here. Eureka is a thing they added to Final Fantasy XIV that's meant to emulate Final Fantasy XI. NM trains and chain bonuses, and you can't fight an enemy that's higher than a level above you. Fafnir and the Valkyrie Emperor, and Circuit, Strider. We didn't destroy Metal Gear in MGS1, we just roughed it up. They built another one and left it in Shadow Moses. Yeah, you get to level 20, it has a separate leveling system, and you use it to get Relic. Super grindy. It's always another Metal Gear. Basically, you just wanted to do the Jurassic Park thing, right? It's Ray from MGS2. That's pretty neat. Did we ever get to see Arsenal gear? I thought there was a cutscene that showed Arsenal gear destroying New York, crashing into New York, but they cut it from MGS2 because of 9/11.
Not yet. Liquid Moses, where our fates were born.
Nuclear
And
ghost
where
ball, making the
yours
crystals.
is.
Mantis, the language of trucks.
Here.
Ray was specifically designed to destroy Rex. I'm still wondering, I mean, we can answer this when we get to the end of the game, why
Finish this, Snake.
they did not get
You've got me on your side.
Cam Clark.
You can't lose. Crush Ray and liquid with it.
Get him, Tubman. What? Yeah, but you don't get to see the whole thing, right? It's supposed to be massive. A giant fake news submarine. It's basically what Arsenal gear was supposed to be.
The machine gun's overheated. Need to wait until the barrel cools down.
This is a really cool sequence, given that they really haven't anything like this in the series up till now. It's kind of a natural evolution. Ooh, you can do that to me, too. They don't do much damage, but they look cool.
Dodge its attack. Keep dodging and wait for your chance to counterattack.
Gatling guns don't overheat. Is that really a thing? Guess I needed to have some kind of mechanic to keep you from just holding it down. Yeah, this is a really... All of Shadow Moses is actually a cool part of MGS4. Stupid, long cutscenes with Naomi notwithstanding. The Vamp boss fight's also a little underwhelming. Kojima does do, nostalgia well, I think.
Snake, behind you. The machine gun's overheated. We need to wait until the barrel cools down.
Only robots to sneak by. I kind of like that Shadow Moses was paced a little bit more slowly there, with not having a bunch of guards.
The missile launcher is empty. Wait for it to reload.
That sucks. Interrupted my laser. But does he heal over time if I leave him alone? I don't think I can reach him in time. Oh shit. Dodged into him? I still need to play Zone of the Enders. It'll be my first time. What else? He's done Zone of the Enders, Snatcher, what else? I thought I could dodge him there, I guess not.
Counterattack.
I'm working on it. Police knots, that's right.
Job, Snake. Keep it coming. Move. The missile launcher is empty.
I got it.
Wait for it to reload.
Working on it, buddy. Oh, maybe not.
Incoming!
Hey, I think we got it. Police Notes got translated for the Saturn? Really? Did it not have a translation before? Wait, Boktai is not the Sun is in Your Hand game, is it? Really? That's cool. I didn't know that that was Kojima. Such a cool concept for a game.
Where's Liquid?
Unfortunately, it was a GBA game, and GBA was impossible to play outdoors. Oh, after all that, this old guy just crawls out and falls out of the giant mech. Burning Rangers! I love the theme song from that game. I think they played it in Phantasy Star Online as well.
Fox.
Fox die again. Since we're presumably another extended cutscene, I'm going to mute so you guys can hear the game audio and dialogue, and I'll type in chat thanks to the new low latency beta.
Think again. Sorry, but that won't work this time. Behold! Liquid! This is the liberty we've won for ourselves. Outer Haven. And with this weapon, I will destroy JD. Then everything ends and everything begins. But as for you, brother, you'll stay here to mark the silent watery grave. Die, snake! Sonny, forgive me.
Jack, do you remember the day we met?
Yeah. It was in front of Federal Hall. There were all these tourists around you.
They were asking me which building it was that King Kong was climbing in the movie. I said it was probably the Chrysler building. And then you showed up and started mouthing off. You were like, no, it's the Empire State.
I said the Chrysler building was in Godzilla.
We started arguing, and I forgot all about the tourists.
The next thing we knew, the tourists had gone away. And a week later, I found you again by coincidence out in the base corridor.
An amazing coincidence.
That night, we went up to the top of the Empire State Building.
It was so beautiful.
I didn't care anymore who was right.
And that was our first date.
We watched King Kong in your apartment a bunch of times that night. Didn't sleep till morning.
Worthless fossil.
My controller died again. So much for the fist fight. I ended up liking Metal Gear Solid 2 more than I remembered liking it. So, what was my experience? I had heard of Metal Gear Solid, and I was like, tactical espionage action. I hate all three of those words. Especially didn't like the idea of, like, a political drama game. I thought it was going to be like Splinter Cell. And then my friend got Twin Snakes because they really liked MGS 1 and 2. And I went over to their house and I saw the Psycho Mantis fight, and I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't what I thought it was. This isn't like, you know, Tom Clancy shit. There's some ridiculous Japanese video game stuff going on. I feel like I kind of need to play this. So I played Twin Snakes, and I played MGS 2 not knowing what happens in MGS 2, and what the surprise was preserved for me. And I think I was surrounded by a lot of opinions that people hated Raiden and MGS2, so I think I hated Raiden as well. Then I played Snake Eater, which is a super straightforward for Kojima, super solid game, and I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. Now, when we played 2 again while we were streaming it, I think I have a better appreciation for 2. Part of it because Kojima threw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall, and his whole warnings about fake news and the overflow of information in MGS2 turned out to be prophetic. I don't know if he also predicted a bunch of other stuff that ended up not being real, but that one he totally landed on, and it made it feel a lot more relevant. But 2 also, I kind of got some of his ideas a little bit better. With, like, having Raiden being a player insert. Snake Eater is a pretty straightforward story for Kojima. Like, it's still absurd and over the top.
Haven is headed southward through the Pacific at a speed of 33 knots. The Missouri's falling behind at a rate of about 2 nautical miles every hour.
Can't
Trying
this
to
thing
watch
go
two
any
old men
faster?
fight.
I'm afraid not. This is as fast as she'll go. Liquid's target is JD, a U.S. military satellite disguised as orbital debris. Oh. Haven will have to surface in order to use the railgun.
If we can figure out JD's orbit.
I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2
we should be
meters.
able to predict where Haven's gonna surface.
Maybe I can go anywhere here.
JD is in a synchronous elliptical orbit, so its next perigee should be in,
Got it! 15 hours, 6 minutes, and 12
I'll mute
seconds.
again during this
Right.
pretty long mission briefing, I
In
think.
15 hours, it's going to be over the Bering Sea, 494 nautical miles from the Bering Strait. Haven knows it too. They'll be holding position in that area.
Do they really have to get that close to launch?
The nukes fired by Rex's railgun have a damage radius of approximately 300 meters. The target is a moving satellite that's traveling at 10 kilometers per second. To get the precision they need, they have to get as close as they possibly can.
Liquid won't launch his nuke until JD is at perigee. The Missouri can use that time to catch up.
Will we make it?
Once Haven stops moving, it'll take us an hour to close the gap. After that, the Missouri needs to strike before Haven's launch preparations are complete. This ship was stripped of most of its equipment, and she's got no electronic warfare capabilities of any kind. No radar, no high-tech weaponry. We'll have to rely on our own eyes to track the enemy. From the looks of it, Haven is going to use a railgun mounted on the bridge to destroy JD. You'll need to open the cover to launch the nuke. That's our one and only chance to get inside.
Inside? Why can't we attack it from here?
It wouldn't do any good. As long as Liquid has control of the system, physically destroying GW would still leave supreme authority in his hands. Sons of the Patriots.
Yes, Dr. Emmerich is right. That's why we need to destroy GW from the inside, before attacking Haven itself.
Liquid's very own Death Star.
All right, everybody, here's the plan. We know Haven will have to surface in order to fire the railgun. When it does, the Missouri will see it. We'll make a quick approach and deliver a strike team. Our goal is twofold. Prevent that nuke from launching, and wipe out GW's programming. The enemy relies entirely on electronic means of threat detection, so they won't be able to see the Missouri until they surface. We'll launch the strike team from catapults at the exact moment Haven's armored cover opens. They'll then penetrate GW's physical server room and infect it with a worm cluster.
But what if they shut down GW before we get in there?
Liquid is already entrenched within the Patriots network. He needs to stay there, or destroying JD won't serve him any purpose. They can't afford to have GW shut down.
And let's not forget, Liquid will throw everything he's got at stopping the strike team.
Exactly. The corridor leading to GW is defended by directed energy weapons that emit certain types of microwaves.
Did you say microwaves?
That's right. And at that frequency, the waves will start to evaporate any living person within range.
A giant microwave oven. You'd have to have a death wish to go in there. Sounds like the perfect job for me.
Snake, this isn't the time for your stupid jokes.
Outside the corridor, Liquid soldiers will be out in full force. Inside, there'll be unmanned weapons waiting for us.
Where are you getting all this information? You really think there's a way to destroy GW?
Yes, I do. She left us something that'll point us in the right direction.
Naomi helped with the preparations to stop Haven's launch.
Naomi?
All of our internal data on Haven came from her. The reason she got on the Nomad with us in the first place was to get close to me. But she ended up turning to Sunny instead.
What do you mean?
She left her plan in Sunny's hands.
This entire operation is based on the data she left us.
Whose side was she on, anyway?
We'll never know exactly what her true intentions were. But one thing's for sure. She was determined to stop Liquid.
Come on, guys. Somebody say something positive. Anything.
Attention! Listen up. A wise man once wrote, "The tongues of dying men enforce attention like deep harmony. Where words are spent, they are seldom spent in vain." Any other questions? Yes, Snake?
Anybody got a smoke?
Snake.
So this program, you're saying Sunny wrote it?
Actually, only about a third of it is her work. Naomi was working on a program to destroy GW, but she couldn't quite finish it, so she handed it over to Sunny. Sunny went fishing in my library to see if there was any source code she could use to complete it. Eventually, she found some. It was Emma's worm cluster. She took my sister's code and worked it into Naomi's program. I didn't have time to look over every single line of code, but what I did see reminded me of Emma. It was like she left traces of herself behind in the structure. But this worm cluster that Sunny created, it's even better than Emma's. Sunny's worm destroys the AI's intellect by triggering apoptosis in the cells. Once uploaded into GW, it should do some real damage. Snake, you ever think about quitting?
Why? It's not like I've got my health to worry about.
Are you trying to kill yourself? So, you're dead set on going to Haven yourself. Why don't we get somebody else to go? There's no need for you to do it.
I still have things left to do. besides smoke. Otacon, why don't you jump off the ship with me?
I don't think so. I've still got things to do myself. And I don't even smoke.
I think I'm about to load into another cutscene, so I might remute myself in a second. I do think that there's a levity problem. It's hard, though. I wonder if, like, the codec calls got cut down a little bit. Even if you think about, like, the end is a pretty goofy boss fight, depending on how you approach it. It can be really serious, or it can be very silly. Allison Road. I'll have to look into it, Kodiak. Yeah. Snake is a cool character. I like what they're trying to communicate about him. It's Kojima. I think the lack of levity in this game was an intentional stylistic decision. I don't think it was necessarily something that was cut or missed. He was trying to do a story about an older hero that kind of wants to die, whose time is over. But I think that's part of the charm of the prior games, is how well it was able to mix lightheartedness into it.
Captain, enemy vessel at 300 meters and still rising.
And the engines.
No problems to report.
Prepare to go full speed ahead, and get the strike team ready for immediate launch.
Aye, aye, Captain.
How long until it surfaces?
About 20 minutes.
Right on schedule. When
Does
she
it have any
surfaces,
connection
opens
at
up
all
her
to
armor. We'll move in
Kojima
as
and
planned.
Aye, Captain.
Guillermo del Toro?
Captain.
Even like a word of
Yes?
blessing or anything like that?
This
They're just trying to
is my
recreate the
first
feeling
real
of PT.
engagement.
I see. Your point?
At first, getting assigned to this
Meet
ship was a
again.
big letdown for me. But the inaction was kind of a relief, too. Captain, I'm scared.
It's okay. I'm scared too. This is also my first time. But I'm not going to let it get to me, because I'm more scared of what'll happen if I run away. Nobody is going to die on my watch. This ship is going back to Hawaii in one piece. That, I promise.
Right. Thank you.
How is he?
He'll live, but he's in no shape to fight. Best to let him rest.
Right.
Without the system to protect them, everybody's losing their nerve. They say SOP's after effects are so bad that a lot of soldiers are deserting.
The only people I have left to rely on are Meryl and him.
Kind of an unknown quantity, isn't he?
I hooked him up with a 9ID M82. Fancy meeting you here.
What are you doing here?
I laundered these guys' IDs, then issued them new naked weapons, including that catapult you're gonna be riding. Business has been slow ever since Liquid got his hands on the system. His extra orders stopped coming in. Now that all the weapons all over the world are locked, the only ones still looking to fight would be you and yours. They tell me it's not economical to replace all that useless equipment on the battlefield with my stuff. So I made an extra special trip out here, just for you.
Driven, do you even have the slightest idea what's going on here?
Of course I do. See, when it comes down to it, the world's like this soda here. Once the bubbles are gone, I ain't got no use for it. It's worth nothing. I'm on the side of whoever needs me the most. You dig? If you need anything, just say the word. I'm setting up shop here for a spell. Enjoy it. Could be your last.
It is. I'm all out. All right.
Looks like that last smoke will have to wait after all. Later.
Hey, here.
Oh, thanks.
You're over there. There.
Snake, can you hear me? Liquid's warship, Outer Haven, is a modified version of an Arsenal gear model stolen from the Patriots. Inside, it's crawling with Irving and other unmanned weapons. According to Naomi's data, Haven is crewed by a battalion of enhanced soldiers, each called from the best the PMCs have to offer. If Liquid succeeds in destroying JD and gaining control of the Patriots system, he'll make Haven his flagship, and his PMCs will spread like wildfire across the globe. And then, mankind's armed subjugation will begin.
Captain, Haven sighted.
Prepare to fire, main gun!
Listen closely. This is our last chance to stop Liquid from enslaving the planet. Meryl, can you hear me? It's time. Time to do your duty. Remember, no matter what happens, I'll be with you till the very end. You are my pride and joy.
gun is exposed.
There it is. A naked nuke.
Let's finish it, Snake. Let this be our last battle. If we're responsible for Liquid's sins, then the onus is ours to bear.
Right.
Enemy moving to intercept.
Maintain full speed!
Failure will spell doom for the human race. You've got to stop them from using that railgun. Then annihilate GW.
Fire!
Target hit. Light damage.
The enemy is returning fire.
All hands, prepare for impact! Brace yourselves! Now!
That old Penny Arcade comic about Snake's math teacher mustache still resonates with me. I don't think they managed... If the goal was to make him a grumpy old man, that would actually be kind of cool, but I feel like he's just Snake in an old man suit. Which I guess literally is what he is, right? He's not actually old. Jimmy with reptilian, self-healing mechas, genetically enhanced super soldier clones, cyber ninjas, island-sized submarine with Mount Rushmore on top. One of the least ridiculous things we've seen. Psychics, old men that live to be 200 years old that heal through photosynthesis.
Snake,
Where are you?
sorry. It's my ankle.
Can you walk?
I think so. Ah!
Are you okay?
Vampires.
Without SOP.
Makes you feel alive, doesn't it? What about Occupy?
He fell into the ocean. Snake, I'll catch up soon. You go ahead.
Your ankle. Okay, thanks, Uber.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
He said the thing. Yeah. Is that actually true, this thing? I think you're right, isn't it?
GW is toward the ship's stern. Hurry!
That's crazy if it's true. Sweet deals at Drebin's shop. Everything's half off. I actually want to go weapons.
job, Snake. You made it on board. Welcome to Haven. Enemy units are already on their way. Break through their defenses and find GW's server room.
It's probably still around. Yeah.
I miss fixed camera angles. Oh shit, well so much for that. So I'm gonna die instantly. Right, and I can't CQC them. Should probably let him kill me here. I was gonna try to hush puppy him. Is there like a restart sequence button? Probably not, right? I like playing Snake Eaters online too. Played quite a bit of that. Come on, go ahead. Geckos are really annoying. Each time to CQC one, she'll just pull you back around. I think maybe you can sneak up behind them and CQC them, but it's pretty hard to do.
Good job, Snake. You made it on board. Welcome.
I should save after I swap that in. That's not the right gun. Shit. God damn it. I would like to sneak through this section, but the game hasn't done a very good job of training me on how it wants me to sneak, right? Unfortunately. Since the last 3 acts have all been combat-oriented. Or with other shenanigans. Come on, Snake. Drop. There you go. There are multiple ways to get through to the end. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Snake, use that watertight door to get in.
God, I can see why that's hard. You can't just get through the door for free. Go ahead, guys. That's fine.
Snake, are you all right? Snake?
Nice, Yahan. Alright, let's try some different ways in this time.
Made it on board. Welcome to Haven. Enemy units are already on their way. Break through their defenses and find GW's server room.
If I can get up on a higher level, that would be nice. Oh shit, not what I meant to do. Good job, Snake, proud of you. Alright, let me equip the weapon that I need. And then I'm gonna save, and we'll try to take as many of these guys out from up here as we can. I know, right? Apparently they're the names of the people on Mount Rushmore, and John Doe, which Makes slightly more sense. I thought he was just making shit up with GW back in the day. When I first played MGS2, I thought it was talking about GW Bush. Makes more sense. Stay sleepy. There's another one around the corner from this one, I think. Alright, this isn't gonna work, is it? There's too many of them too close to each other for me to get away with that. That's 2 down for reals this time, I think. Gotta have the MGS card pile. Great. Makes perfect sense. Must have just been the wind. Pile of guards. How long can I pull this off for is the question now. Now they're waking up over here. Okay, feeling pretty good, feeling pretty happy. What? Hey. What? Hey. I don't know if it's actually going to let me continue from there. Probably going to send me back to the beginning if I get caught. God damn it. I really miss the Soliton radar. All right. Let's do it cheesy style. Their bodies burn up? Holy shit. Who's shooting at me from where? Oh. What's up? Can I buy rations in this game from the shop? Just stare her down. I feel like the psyche system or psych system in this game is like a slightly less complicated version of the hunger bar, stamina bar in Metal Gear Solid 3. And I think streamlining it makes it less interesting. Like I like kind of having the injuries, even if it was silly, having to go in and oh, you can't hip fire in this game, I forgot. You're the worst, you know that? No rations from the shop. Slowly reload in front of your face. Just make sure to eat some rations or noodles or something in front of you. I need to re-equip the railgun now that they've trained me to use it for these fights. It's like all the way at the bottom, isn't it? Oh, but I have no ammo for it. That's what Drevin's shop is for, now that everything's on sale. Sneaking through the wall here, nothing to see. They take a railgun to the face and be okay? Alright, that works for me. Let's see. Top myself off here.
Snake, use that watertight door to get in.
I'm working on it. Holy shit, what just happened? Wow. Alright, well, we'll see what it puts me to when I continue here. I have to find a different way to sneak through this level. Ugh. I really like sneaking in Metal Gear Solid. I don't like this game's approach to the radar, or its approach to camera angles.
Good job, Snake.
I wonder why Kojima caved to pressure about fixed camera angles. I feel like he could be a lot more precise with his stealth level design. And he knows what you can see with the camera, you know? There's a ton of guards here, too. A lot of other up top areas I can sneak to, do I? Go ahead and put the Octo camo on. I'm not sure that it matters, but just to make 100% sure. 99% in here. I feel like the frog soldiers are so good at detecting you. Like, the camo percent doesn't really give you a lot of information like it does in MGS3. And maybe it feels like it gives you more information in MGS3 because you tend to hide it with the benefit of something else, like grass or a tree or something. You're not just trying to hide in the middle of a military level.
Something there?
They can spot you if they look at you with 99% camo? Okay, good to know. Just try to keep doing that for now, I guess. It is. It feels like there are a lot of really awesome ideas in Metal Gear Solid 3, which were admittedly very janky. Like the way you did camo and could suddenly change your loadout in the middle of a firefight, or the way you could like set a wound in the injury screen. Super janky. But it was actually kind of fun, and I think that this is an example of a zero-sum quality of life feature, where in streamlining the camo experience, they actually kind of made it worse, I think. I remember thinking it was super cool when I first saw it in like trailers for the game. But it's like adding fast travel to an MMO. And I'm still trying to figure out, so I'm gonna have to watch the autopsy video, trying to figure out what it is exactly about this game's systems. That don't feel right, you know? Yeah, right. I think that there was just something very puzzle-like. Like all of Metal Gear Solid 3 and 2 and 1 and Metal Gear 1 and 2 felt like you had these discrete, solvable stealth puzzle sections that had... Sometimes they had different solutions, which was kind of cool. Aim is all janky all of a sudden. Is my controller battery dying or something? I don't know. Just need a little bit of tightening here. I can't lean in this game, right? Maybe it's aim sensitivity? It might be my controller, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't like the if you don't like it, don't use it argument. In some games, they just make the, it's so attractive and so efficient that it changes the nature of the game if it's offered in the first place, right? In a way, I love fast travel in MMOs. You know, it lets you get through the game more quickly and see the stuff you want to see, but it also really shrinks the game world in a way that I think is detrimental to the experience. Yeah. It's a problem that's unique to games criticism, I would say. There's not really anything quite like it in movies or books. Or adding a feature that's theoretically a positive thing is actually worse for the experience overall. If you don't like it, don't use the argument, then don't use it. Hey, Bombard! Can you bombard this thing too, please? Don't step on me, please. Kojima taking the exact wrong lessons from MGS3. Yeah, that's a good point.
Snake, use that
you might be pretty right.
door to get in.
Wasn't Kojima in talks to do one for a while, or am I misremembering that? Whew. Okay. Thank you. I just had to use the camouflage and trust that it would work. I'm gonna plug in the controller in a second since it's being a little janky. Next time there's a long cutscene, I'll get up and do that.
The corridor leading to GW.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to make that joke, Rob.
Did you say microwave?
They're reminding us of the thing that just happened.
Like the perfect job for me.
Oh, thanks, Uber. Good reminder. It might be too late. I might be out of gameplay mode. Yeah. Flashback to something that happened like 10 minutes ago. Story time, not in gameplay time, with me failing repeatedly in that mission. This name, I think you predicted that the last session of this game may be no gameplay, it might just be cutscenes, and I think you're right. Not trying to remember what happens after this.
Meryl.
It's like poetry, it rhymes. Is the how long to beat that far off? We'll see if I get an interstitial save point or something. I might try to play it safe, though. And just finish it next week. I gotta stop using automatic weapons in video games like I use them in Fortnite. Fortnite's all about tapping fire over and over. These games are all about holding down the button until they die. I think if you're just making... Oh, thanks, Propaganda.
Cool with you. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Raising money to send my nephew Jaden and his dad Kat to PAX. We're doing really well so far. Jaden had his chiptune stream, which went really well. We did the Cat versus the Sonic franchise stream, which was also pretty great. If you missed it, both of the VODs are on YouTube, and they're pretty outstanding. And how close are we now? We need less than 80 more bucks to get the second chiptune stream, where Jaden is going to take music that you guys submit and riff on it and make his own tracks. I've also talked with his parents, and after that second Jaden chiptune stream unlocks, we're going to try to have him stream to his own channel once a week doing music-related stuff. So even if too many people submit music for him to do it all in the next stream, he will do it in a future stream from his own channel. So if you had a short little melody that you've been humming in your head, or playing on guitar, or messing around in Family Tracker you wanted to submit, shoot me a Discord DM or post it in the Jaden Nico Chiptunes channel Discord, and we'll have it ready. But thanks again, Prop. Appreciate that. Boils down to how games model recoil. Oh, really? Tapping fire every so often? I did not know that. I have it for Switch. I play it on a platform that can cross-play with Switch. On Switch, Xbox One, and PC. Those can all play together. Do not have it on Sony. There's a very specific reason for that. Oh shit. I was wondering why there was suddenly a loud noise like that. Can you stop doing that? I got all my rations back from when I snuck through it instead of fighting everybody. I'll shoot you in the junk. There you go. Yes, yes. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Yeah, I mean... since the game doesn't have skill-based MMR, it matters less, right? I think you will only ever play with PC players if you are in a party with another PC player. So if you're playing Switch by yourself or with other Switch people, you'll only be playing against Switch people, which I think is a right way to do it. So let the kids have their music kind of a response. Full auto is pretty much exclusively for suppressing fire. Okay. I'd be down to play it sometime. In fact, if anyone ever feels like playing Fortnite in the mornings before stream or in the late evening, shoot me a Discord DM. I'm still kind of surprised at how much I enjoy that game. But I don't play it to win. Do challenge logs, try to find all of the ice cream trucks and gnomes and shit. That stuff is fun for me. Actually, I really like the like hardcore Fortnite players would say I'm bad for this, but I like the stealth element of that game. Oh shit, it's like the Psycho Mantis fight from Metal Gear Solid 1.
Snake.
What's Mantis? Oh, we had laughing, raging, crying.
I know your wavelength. It brings back memories. It can't be.
Oh, that makes sense. Are they gonna pull up the explicit flashback? So I bet George Lucas wishes he could have done that in the prequels. Let the audience press the X button to see the scene he's referencing back to. Johnny, you didn't get sucked under the boat and turned into propeller mush. Good job.
Meryl!
Wait,
Oh, that's kind of cool. I completely forgot about this boss fight and forgot Mantis was in this game.
It has been a long time.
Dredden teleported in. Screaming Mantis, that's the fear. Okay.
You, Psycho Mantis. No, that was another me. Can you hear the screams?
Brought back the original music, that's cool. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it was Fred Tatasciore, the voice of Psycho Mantis in the original game. He's also like the voice of Saren. He's a pretty prolific voice actor. I'm trying to think where else I know him from now. Screaming, my favorite emotion.
What's this?
Yeah, pretty supernatural.
I see.
I see. Remind me of some of Simon Templeton's roles. Oh, Kane. Okay. Don't shoot Meryl. I don't remember if there's a shenanigan to this fight. Okay. It's the PlayStation 3 system. I can't change the port. It's a wireless controller.
Snake, this beast, Screaming Mantis, is a puppeteer. She manipulates others into doing the fighting for her.
Control seems to kick in when you get hit by that creepy ghost thing.
Be careful you don't get jerked around too, okay? That beast is the only thing standing between you and the server room. You've got to take her out.
Oh, I got the Hideo thing there. That's cool. Like an instant call when you try to do it.
Otacon, what's going on? I can't move.
You can't move? What the heck did you... Oh, Snake.
I think I got this when I played it for the first time, too.
Other than one? Let me guess. You thought back to your battle with Psycho Mantis and figured the same tactic would actually work again,
I'm glad they
right?
added something for that. That's fantastic.
Nice try, Snake. But this time the controller number has to be 1, or else you can't control your actions.
What the hell? Whose dumb idea was that?
That's how it worked in
Don't look at
MGS1
me.
Propagula.
I'm sorry, but it's simply not going to work this time around.
Fine.
It's something that Kojima actually does pretty well, like the belittling fourth wall break. And don't use the auto fire or I'll know. Yeah. That's what's missing from the game, I think. I don't remember what to do in this fight. I guess I can keep calling Numbnuts and get his ideas.
Snake, remember
Godspeed,
how Psycho
Kodiak.
Mantis controlled Meryl using telepathy? Well, I'm thinking this thing does it by manipulating the nanomachines inside
Actually,
a target's
it's
body,
nanomachines.
forcing them to secrete opioids and sending them into hypoesthesia.
Fortunately, everyone in this universe has
She puts them into a
nanomachines.
sleepwalking state and controls their muscle systems directly.
What is that ghost-looking thing, anyway?
My guess? A hologram. Meant to intimidate people. Having some freak thing like that suddenly pop up in front of you is enough to make anybody jump.
It's like Kojima suddenly felt bad for all of his over-the-top. He has a character who is like an electromancer in MGS3.
In the laser used to create the hologram. That's probably why Mantis can't control you unless you touch it.
But she's controlling dead guys, too. What about that?
Same concept. Didn't you ever do that experiment in high school where you attach electrodes to a dead frog's leg to make it twitch? The nanomachines are capable of storing.
I guess it's like the
It's entirely possible that Mantis is using that electricity
Rick
to
and
make
Morty
muscles
scene.
contract. If she really is controlling people through their nanomachines, you know a way to counter that, right? Give it a try.
I do. Okay. CQC people. Can I grab her? How do I pick her up so I can use this thing? Is there a button I have to press to do it? That's what I want to do here. Is to use the syringe on her. Oh, that's Johnny? Okay, I thought it was her. Hey, it's Rose.
Snake, this is Mantis we're talking about.
The fight on Shadow Moses?
That's right. Back then, we defeated him by using multiple controller ports to counteract his mind-reading powers. Snake, try using the same tactic again. Plug the controller into controller port 2.
It's not gonna work, Roy.
Huh?
Do you see any controller ports here? Deceiving Mantis is going to take more than simply pushing the
Syringe
PS
myself?
button to switch controller numbers.
But then, that means...
It's impossible. Sorry.
I love it.
I'll be damned.
I have to stop my own. Oh, I see. It's too bad they used that trick twice. Especially with the Mantis fight, right? Mantis is such a cool enemy to do another cool fourth wall break with. I guess if you're gonna make everything be nanomachines, it's a pretty natural solution. Oh, I see. glad it's running well, Kodiak. Not this again.
Even if she tries to hurt you, Meryl's not acting of her own free will. Don't do anything to hurt her. Knock her out if you want, but don't hurt her.
Let that thing hit me. She's screaming. Beautiful. Oh, she's got a little Mantis and a little Sorrow. Let's see. You jerk. Wonder why this fight didn't stick with me too much. Did she back up again? Ugh, come on. Oh right, we can't shoot her if we're not syringed. Point blank Desert Eagle shot like a champ. No kidding. I guess I can try taking down these guys. I think there's dead bodies there, right? So I can't, like, shoot them a bunch. Yeah, they don't really respond to that. I am supposed to shoot her puppets, right? That's correct. Oh, you have to knock them off her and then pick them up before she gets back to them? Okay, thanks. I didn't see her drop it after I shot it. Maybe she picks it up quickly if you're not close to it when you do it.
Mantis is dropping her puppet. Without it, she can't control her victims.
Mantis doll.
Go grab that puppet.
Snares the will of the living. Ready with the L1 button. Release ghost. The R1 button. If scoring direct hit, shake the controller while holding the L button. Manipulate the target. Now I think one of the puppets is melee. One of them is subdual damage, and the other one is lethal damage. Is that right? I've got a few hits to try to knock it off of her. I see. I guess in that case, I may as well use an auto so I can more likely actually hit the thing off. Activates evil ambience that desecrates the very souls of the dead. At least goes to the R1 button. Sure. Got it. Okay. That's kind of a cool mechanic. Or are they technically weapons? I guess that makes sense. Oh, I think I need to do this again. Ouch. They're nanomachine remotes. Who dolls? The main thing is that it's creepy, I think. Yeah, right. So much for that. Here we go. I think this is right. Well, maybe not. Let's try using the Mantis doll. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. That's pretty awesome. Snapping her neck, basically. Cool. Very neat. I do like puzzle fights. It's interesting that one actually had less shenanigans than Psycho Mantis. You think they'd like try to turn it up? It's gonna take off her clothes. And it's gonna be kind of awkward. I do feel like the Beauty and the Beast unit was not well explored. Granted, like, the Cobra unit, they don't really tell you very much about them at all. But they as a whole have a much more important role in the story, and a couple of them have more detailed backstories. For some reason, they managed to have a comparable lack of like build-up to the Beauty and the Beast unit in this game, but they felt more relevant. I'm trying to think if it's a pacing problem with this one, if it's just the fact that Drebin gives you this quick, this is the thing that was going on with that boss you just fought. You said they were supposed to be naked here, but they cut it? Why the feathers? It was changed not too late into production. That's creepy. Just your jiggle physics malfunctioning, or? Yeah.
Stop! I don't want to hear
I totally agree this name is lame.
My head hurts. It hurts.
I've been struggling the whole play. That's why I really want to watch that autopsy video. I can't put my finger on what feels off about MGS4. It's not just that it's weird, because Kojima has always been weird, and he's done weird in a way that's satisfying? Cathartic? Entertaining? Fun? Lame snake. Propagable posted it in Discord. Do you have the link on hand? No. If you're still there, Prop?
Get out of my body.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
It's definitely an issue with an inconsistent tone, I think we can say for sure. Like, no matter what else you think about it... Oh, did I unequip my... It's stuff like Naomi, but Naomi times a billion, right? Naomi's a specific symptom of the problem. I think she's kind of a microcosm of the whole game's tone issue. I think part of it, I remember being kind of turned off by the whole separating the game into acts and chapters explicitly. Kind of teleporting you around the game world all the time. Oh god, good luck, Goodier. The act structure. Yeah, it really feels like they're these separate episodes that aren't really connected to each other. Whereas everything, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 2 goes from being entirely on a big shell to suddenly being on Arsenal gear. But the entire game is building up to that moment, and it feels like a really satisfying, sudden climax. But I think this game is trying to have mini climaxes constantly. Like, there's no slow rising action. Everything is treated as though it's the final cutscene. Play one chapter per session? I can see that. Psycho Mantis from MGS1. Put your controller on the floor.
I will show you the power of the world's greatest mind reader and psychokinesis. I'll start by reading your personality, rather, your past. That's right. This is no trick. It's true.
Yeah, I love this stuff. I think they should have positioned this before the boss fight.
What? Where is your data? Where is it saved? Is it memory? Damn. Your skills have improved. Or rather,
I love the zooming in on the memory card. It's great.
witness my psychokinesis. Put your controller on the floor. Put it down as flat as you can.
They got rid of the vibration.
That's good. Now, I will move your controller by the power of my will alone.
Now, if you have a controller that doesn't have vibration, does complain about 6-axis, I heard that they mostly put vibration back on the PS3 controllers because Kojima complained. Like, they did this big thing where no one needs force feedback. We just need 6 axes. In fact, I think that was one of the selling points of the MGS3 launch PS3.
Always be with you.
Talk about OBT dubs, Sorrow. We couldn't get the voice actor back, so we'll replay one of his clips.
So, you bested the last beast.
6 axis is the controller being able to do this, register
Who's
movements.
got nanomachines in them. Sounds like something the devil's cooked up, if you ask me.
Motion control.
Mantis came from South America. She was born and raised in a country racked by never-ending civil wars. Her village was attacked by enemy
I'm gonna mute
forces
during
and
this
burned to the
codec.
ground. This was when she was still a little girl. Hunted by enemy death squads, she was separated from her family. She barely managed to escape with her life. Ended up in the basement of this one building. It was full of corpses that had been dumped there. Almost all of them had been tortured to death. She was petrified with fear. And then, she heard the sound of heavy boots on the floor above her, followed by shrieking screams. The kind that would make every hair on your body stand straight up. She had stumbled across a makeshift torture chamber. Somebody'd locked the door, and she was trapped. It was dark, it was dank, and it was full of a wretched stench. She couldn't sleep with the screams of torture victims all around her. All she could do was sit curled up in one corner of the room, trembling. A week passed, then 10 days. She managed to keep hydrated by drinking the filthy water pooled up on the floor, but there was no food. Being trapped in that kind of place, half crazy from hunger, did a serious number on her mind. Did you know female mantises eat their mates? The screams went on day and night. She covered her ears, but it didn't help. And then, she was saved. By a little black mantis that taught her how to block out the screams, how to plug up her inner ears.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm saying, Snake, that when she couldn't stand the hunger any longer, she started feeding on the corpses. But only the male ones. She didn't realize who was doing it. In her mind, it was a female mantis devouring her mates. It was like one big twisted waking dream. There was no mantis, of course. It was all a hallucination. Nothing more than some story spun by another person she'd created inside. Her unstable mind was what made her so vulnerable. Later, they ripped out what was left of her psyche with drugs and hypnosis and implanted the persona of Psycho Mantis. It wasn't her will that controlled the B&Bs. It was Psycho Mantis, half assimilated into her soul, pulling the strings. Screaming Mantis was just another puppet. Anyway, she survived several weeks down in that hellhole and finally got back to the surface. But the screams in her head didn't subside. They would always be with her. Only this time, they weren't real. The inner earplugs didn't work anymore. The black mantis had disappeared. There was no place left to escape. Which is why she was always screaming, to drown out the ones in her own head. But it's over now. You freed Mantis from that dark nightmare.
The last of them beasts.
You got it, pal. Well, I'm done playing storyteller for a while. Now get going. GW's waiting. And this time, you get to make up the ending.
Meryl. Snake. Where's Johnny? Go on without me. This time, I'll protect you. Go. Destroy DW while there's still time. While I'm still alive.
Meryl.
Snake, the corridor ahead is full of microwaves.
Yeah. No way I'm getting through there uncooked. I'm sorry you got dragged into this.
This time, I've got your back. We'll meet again on the other side. Go! Hurry! Go!
And we're back. If I lose stream, Ben is being a particularly huge jerk. I'm gonna turn on the cat cam real quick and show you. He's really trying to knock this monitor over, and he stepped on the laptop multiple times, so like if he shuts the stream down, it is 100% this little bastard's fault. What are you doing, Ben? Why are you the way that you choose to be? Yeah, this looks like a long hallway. It's not the long hallway.
Why don't we get somebody else? I've got nothing to lose. You were the lightning in that ring. Could still shine in the darkness. You ready? Hurry! Let's go beat her. Finally, it's the long hallway at the end of the game. It's a trope, not a real shame. Judgment Day, the boss is right this way. Can't let him slip away. Come and join me in the long hallway, hallway, hallway. It's the long hallway, hallway, hallway.
It's a pretty cool trope. We'll play it there. We won't play it during the long hallway, the really, really cool one. The graphics jump contributes to the tone issues. Do you think there's too much cinematography, like the camera's cutting too often because it can? He no longer really has limitations anymore. He doesn't have to be quite as creative. Call up Driven.
Meryl!
Why is he such a badass? I completely forgot Johnny was in this game at all.
Johnny, you're all right.
Here.
Huh. You trying to make up for being late?
What kind of gun does he have?
Meryl. I'll never leave you alone again.
It was an interesting choice to make him important to the plot.
Cover!
Clear!
In some ways, I feel like this game could have worked better if Snake was actually old. If the game was actually 40 years in the future and all the other characters are old too. Or it was like a passing the torch kind of a thing to a bunch of new characters.
Tell me something. How come Mantis couldn't control
Him being pretend old makes it feel weird and off.
Nanomachines to manipulate their behavior. No nanomachines, no control.
But don't you?
No, I don't have any nanomachines in me.
What?
Every time we had mandatory shots, I ducked out.
Don't tell me you knew this was gonna happen.
Nah, I just hate needles.
So that's why you were always out of sync with the team.
I tried to keep track of everybody's data on my wearable, but I could never keep up.
And why you weren't affected in Europe on the Volta.
Yep.
Asshole. Johnny, I'm running low.
Don't worry. I got these from Drebin. Meryl.
Johnny, I never knew. All those horrible things I said.
Forget it.
All those stomach aches? Was that because the nanomachines weren't there to suppress them?
Yeah.
But if you're afraid of shots, why'd you join my team?
I wanted to be near you. To protect you.
Johnny?
Meryl. I've always loved you. Ever since Shadow Moses, when I first laid eyes on you. Meryl, marry me.
You've got a hell of a sense of timing.
What do you say?
I'd have to say no.
You'd rather stay single? Okay, but we don't have to make it official.
No.
Well, how about we just move in together then?
Nope.
Why? Is there something wrong with me?
No. I'd just rather do things my way. Johnny. Marry me.
Huh?
I'll say it again. Marry me.
Sure. It'd be my pleasure.
Hey. And don't even think about cheating on me.
I wouldn't dare.
And I want a real wedding. With flowers and a cake. It's been my dream since I was a little girl. I want to be a bride. Take me home, Johnny.
Sorry, I was typing. I was like, I can't type and run. I was like, wait, I can talk. Now that there's gameplay again. What? Camera characters like Mad Max. Hey, thanks for the host, Death Johnson. Appreciate that. It's Paper Mario treating you. Camera characters like Mad Max work in stories that are built around having a camera character. So, you know, any of the Mad Max movies, God of War 2018, Kratos is very much a Mad Max camera character. He's there to kind of show you the setting. But if your story is not built around that concept and hasn't been built around that concept, well, I don't know. I mean, like, God of War 2018 is a very different thing because the first three God of Wars are definitely all about Kratos, very character focused, all about specifically seeing his reaction to things. Roll through with the drum can. No, nice, Death Johnson.
Snake? Snake!
How many of the frog soldiers are there? Thanks for not shooting me immediately, I appreciate that. How many does there need to be?
They're not working.
You're all terrible soldiers. Walk up as slowly as you can to the dying old man. Oh, they all take out their knives. Very efficient. Hey, thanks, buddy. At least got the sword in his teeth. Good job, Mark III. See, he's got lightning on him. Oh, he's like Vulcan. That happens to everybody once they lose their arms. Totally not cheap and manipulative, make it seem like he died. I'm just slowly backing up. Yes, nanomachines. This name is lame.
Snake, leave this to me.
The fact that he never used the sword makes him having it in his mouth that much sillier. They still have guns.
One of us is enough.
My body is a machine. I can take it.
Microwaves will nuke your machine.
But your heart is human. You've got a life to go back to.
She means nothing to me now.
Raiden, look at me. You still have your youth. Don't waste it. You can start over.
Yeah, so I think that there's an alternate version of this game that's about you passing the torch, right? Which is kind of what they're getting at with this cutscene, but the game just totally doesn't feel like that's what it's getting at the whole time. And it spends too much time away from Snake's perspective, because the story's happening around him,
It's my duty
not to him.
to put an end to all of this.
Even the Beauty and the Beast units feel like that. Like, oh, here's some story about them. It doesn't affect you, though. Or any of the other characters. I mean, at least, like, Sniper Wolf was connected to Otacon, and... You've lost most of your body to mechanics. You still got your youth. Yeah, it has no idea what to do with Snake. They basically made a Mad Max character in a game and didn't, like, write the game around that concept. I think it can be done. We saw God of War change Kratos, and it works really, really well. To a camera character. It's like it kind of wants it to be about Snake and kind of doesn't, which is why I think the most powerful moment of this whole game is the long hallway segment coming up, because that part's actually about Snake. And the game's trying to tell you explicitly this is about him, when it never actually does that and shows that. Yeah.
Thank you, Snake.
He probably said that mumbled. Or maybe he told me through his nanomachines. So nice of the soldiers to let them talk, and all have knives out instead of their guns. could have been done so well, right? You could have a game building up to going on a suicide mission. He progressively does more and more dangerous things up until this long hallway segment, which I think actually does work. There's probably a reason why it stuck with me and little else did. Like, the correct thing to do here is to not show us what Raiden does, right? Good job. It was the same with Meryl and Johnny earlier. Like, as cool of a scene as that was, I think that would have worked better if they just showed them watching our back and we don't know what happens to them.
Snake, that place is saturated with microwaves. The longer you stay in there, the greater damage you'll take. Get through there as quickly as possible.
I'm gonna mute during this section because I do think it's really cool.
Don't give up on me, Snake.
I really like that they're forcing me to mash a button here. We did the long hallway leading up to this. But yeah, this is one of my favorite long hallways in all of gaming. I actually forgot about it being split screen like this. I mean, maybe it does this, I don't remember, but I feel like what you should do is if you're going to start split screen, it should become less and less split screen the longer you're in here. It should start to rise up, and you just see Snake on the bottom. Even in this, my favorite sequence in the whole game, that's actually about Snake and his mission up to this point, Kojima feels like he still has to show you what's happening outside, and it's almost better if he doesn't know. He doesn't know, right? The player doesn't need to know. And you keep going when you're at minimum health. I was playing this, I was freaking... I'm not sure if it's scripted that you can always make it. It might be possible to fail. It would certainly suck to fail, though. You wouldn't want to repeat it. Yeah. As much as I love this scene, I removed from my mind that it was split screen. It is possible to die, but you have to give up.
Don't give up on me, Snake.
It's too bad Otacon can't just go through. Yeah, that's really cool. I really like that. I wish it were just Snake. Maybe give you a codec call before you go in to remind you of what you are up against. I also kind of... Well, I'm just reliving this game when I played it the first time. I don't exactly remember what happens next, but I was really hoping Snake would die at the end of this. Just eat a ration, he'll be fine. Why don't they just use a Phoenix down on Eris? It really ludo narrates my dissonance, Spiky. Thanks for the heads up, Dark Sir.
It's like a graveyard.
I didn't realize that expanded when I was typing. The holograms, it's gotta be so on the nose. It's a neat concept. Ties back into Snake Eater. But I think having the little flowers was super on the nose. And him saying it's like a graveyard, it's like, okay. It's like Kojima's suddenly worried that you're not going to get it, right? And he's never worried about that in the previous games. So I think he needed to be in here physically because of his DNA being big bosses or something, but so far he's not really doing anything. Grab the controller just in case there's gameplay. Yeah, then they cut back to cool Raiden cutscene. Oh no, from a tonal perspective, I'm entirely on board with Snake being in the room. Right? Like, him doing the microwave hallway crawl is awesome, the way they force you to mash the button is really neat. But given how much Otacon's doing once he's in there, you're like, you can see the matrix of the storytelling. Good job, soldiers. There's a couple times where things happen off screen in MGS 1 through 3 where you get a codec call and someone tells you that it's happening, but they don't cut to them, right? They just describe what's happening to them over the codec. And then you go physically find out about it later. And I think that instead of having those codec calls happening at crucial moments like that with characters that are off screen, they just show you what's happening to them. Like, imagine if that was played similarly, but, you know, Meryl called you to say that she was almost dead and then Raiden's getting his ass kicked. And it raises some questions, too, about, like, well, can Otacon add some weaponry to the Mark III? Or send 2 robots? One of them be the hacker robot? It would work if they were like, oh, you need to have Big Boss's DNA in there. Like, it only accepts his fingerprints and they have to be alive or something. Yeah, I'd like the codec calls, I think. That would improve a lot. Actually, codec is a pretty... I've never thought about it. I've always, you know, joined the memery and joking about, oh, there's so many freaking codec calls in Metal Gear Solid, they gotta calm down and give me control of the character. But codecs make sure that the game always takes place from Snake's perspective. Or Raiden's perspective, whoever the protagonist is, right? I think that's what happened. I think that 2 problems. One, they did stuff that previously would have been handled with codecs by doing cutscenes that are happening away from Snake. And 2, they had a soundtrack before they had scenes, so they sometimes had to write scenes to match the soundtrack, so they went on way too long. Oh no, I know why, HCL, but I'm just saying, like, it seems really, contrived that Snake has to go through the awesome microwave hallway. I'm glad that he did, because it's a cool scene, but I'm trying to think of a better way to orient it to really justify him going through it, right? Him having Otacon with him robs it of something, and it's no longer a person needs to go through there. You can just send a droid. Right, Hoover. I'd have to look into it. I don't know if Harry Gregson Williams got scenes that he then wrote music to in, like, Snake Eater. Harry Gregson Williams did MGS2 as well, didn't he?
Wait a minute. The worm is still spreading, and it's not
stopping at GW. Is it removing the other clones?
I would have liked that, this name, yeah.
Wait.
The Mark III gets nuked by the microwaves, and it's a surprise. Yeah, because they keep building up the microwave thing as Snake is going to do this. It gives you way too much time to, like, process it. Nani? Oh my god, she's back from the grave to be a jerk again. I think this is a super long cutscene, so I'm gonna mute and type again.
Snake. Hal. It's you, isn't it? I hope you're listening. The virus you uploaded is using GW as a conduit to annihilate the entire AI network. It's set to destroy all 4 AIs, along with JD, the core that tied them all together. I've set this video to play back once they're all gone. Sons of the Patriots was only the beginning. The Patriots were planning to use nanomachines to implement the system over the entire population. I had an obligation to stop it. With a little help from Sunny. She helped me. She believed her talents could help you all put GW to rest. What she created was an anti-AI Fox dye. But this virus's name is Fox Alive. It's the conceptual opposite of the nanomachines that I created all those years ago. We wish to free the captured foxes, to let them run free in the wild. By the time you hear this, I'm afraid I'll be gone. It's a strange feeling, leaving a message to be delivered after you've died. Hal, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Sorry I deceived you. It hurt me more than anything else, lying to you like that. I wanted to apologize to you before, but I never got the chance.
Me.
And yet, in the end, you helped me feel the joy of living. Thank you, Hal. Thank you.
Hear me. Our country is an innocent child once more. A new dawn is rising. Now, she can build a new destiny for herself. Snake, the time has come. You've earned your rest. The rose petal is about to fall.
Snake? Snake! Snake!
Think they'll give me another save in the next hour and 20 minutes? It's hard to say. We'll definitely beat it next session. Probably not today. I'll just plan for opening up with some cutscenes and then switching to something else. Peace Walker, probably. Right, more cutscene.
Snake, wait here. I'll get a medic.
Rise and shine, Snake. Look, the war is over.
Why? You could have stopped us.
Stopped you? Why would I want to do that? This is just as I'd hoped things would end. Back before Father's time, before Zero gave birth to the Patriots, the US, China, and the Soviet Union formed a secret pact. The organization they created was called the Philosophers. Through 2 world wars, it spread its roots and extended its reach. After that, the Philosophers splintered, and factions began to squabble over the fortune they'd amassed. They called it the Philosopher's Legacy, a massive cache of funds that would later provide the foundation for Zero's Patriots. Zero sought to use his riches to achieve world domination. Our father, Big Boss, sought to free himself from that chokehold. His dream was to create an army of free citizens, one that answered to no government. Outer heaven. But he failed because of you. 9 years ago, I tried to free us from the control of our genes. 4 years later, our dear brother Solidus sought to free us from the control of the Patriots' means. All of it, was nothing more than a Free from Fox Die. Free from the system. Free from ID control. Our minds free from their prisons. That is the haven I've yearned for. This is it, brother. Our final moment. But we are not yet free. The war is over. But we still have a score to settle.
Oh golly gosh. Let's do a fight. It'll be great.
Show me what you've got, Snake.
I wonder if the Ocelot voice actor tried to mimic Cam Clark. Alright, it's a cutscene, never mind. It might not always be a cutscene, I don't remember though. You had a fight on top of a giant submarine that you got teleported up to like Orthanc. I like what you've got. Right. He's got his old pants! I bet he grows his hair out. Guess your old grandpa fistfight cutscene after all. Just came later than I expected. Yeah, I never... See, something that's interesting is I don't think that Kojima intended it for it to be unclear whether that's Ocelot or Liquid, but it's very unclear for the whole game whether it's like 50-50, 100-0. And I think that revelations that happen later still in the game make it even more confusing. In that case, so why didn't they get Cam Clark after MGS2? I think I asked last time, I don't remember if anyone ever answered. Just keep syringing each other, because that's been how we fought the last two boss fights. I think what happened here at the end of the day was that Hideo Kojima killed off Liquid pretty conclusively in MGS2 or MGS1 and regretted it, and then couldn't figure out how to undo it. I really like using Cam Clark for clarity, though. Yeah, I like Ocelot's voice actor. The sad music. Perfectly symmetrical violence never solved anything. We're exact copies of each other. I know all her moves, so I have the upper hand. They both have the syringes. Cool. I like the old Solid Snake instead of Old Snake MGS1 UI. That's pretty cool. It's too bad they didn't have the rights to the music anymore. Old man battle. Encounter from MGS1. Well, it's not CQC, it's a fighting game. I still think the final fight in Snake Eater is my favorite. It's just very emotionally charged. Press select for controls. Oh, cool. Strong punch, body blow. Thanks. I think I lost this when I played it the first time. You can infinite Ocelot? No kidding. Liquid Ocelot. The music in this segment's pretty cool, I gotta admit. You'll both retrieve some health. Really? I don't think I realized that this was a fighting game when I played it 10 years ago. I didn't realize there was that much depth to the mechanics in the... I never pressed select to see the controls. It's like Virtua Fighter. Taunt button. Is it triangle, maybe? Yeah. Wish I could knock him off, like he can knock me off, presumably. I'm gonna die this time, that's okay, we'll try it next time. And there's some health recovery, nice. What's the block button again? L1? Can you hold it? Ouch. Little simul punches. Oh, I see, I can just hold it. Okay. Let's try blocking more, maybe we'll do better. "84 minutes of cutscenes plus credit after this. Are there any interstitial save points during it?" Thanks for the heads up. I might wrap early then. Because I don't think I can really afford to go late today, unfortunately. If you can like find someone's Let's Play maybe on YouTube and double check, that would be cool. Thanks. There's a save before. If there are any interstitial cuts, like saves, we'll just do that. Who does that? Final Fantasy XIV does saves in the middle of long-ass cutscenes. Oh, shit. Taunt, please. Shit. I think you get it a couple times in MGS4. Oh, it flipped me. CQC'd me. Rude. Well, that accomplished nothing. Cool. Now just Ocelot, the Snake Eater music, I love it. If he does the little Ocelot thing with his hands. Meow. Ooh, ow, jeez. Meow. Did they change their sound effects from getting hit too? It sounds like Snake Eater. Yeah, I love the silliness in this. No save breaks? Okay, thanks. We might just call it next time it gives me a save then, and wrap next time. Nice. Come here. I love this theme too. Punch him! Snake Eater is really good. Ouch, that was really bad. I need him to taunt again! Taunt! Yeah, the health bar style change is really cool. That's what Kojima's great at, right? Whew. I just gotta try to haymaker him here. I love he's trying to CQC you during this too. Bummer, we'll try it again. I like how it flashes through the Mantis sequences there. I don't think you're supposed to lose that. Right. He came and talked to me real quick while Otacon was hiding behind him, apparently. And do as much damage to him with taking as little damage as possible, because he kind of sucks in Metal Gear Solid 1 mode. I like that he has iframes when he's getting up. Probably good that I have them. A lot of games are pretty inspired by Kojima doing that. Like using his UI and mechanics to tell a story. I won't know if he was the first person to do it. Oh, that's cool, Spiky. Yeah, Nier is kind of following up on a lot of that sort of thing. Oh shit, yeah, I'm showing them hit you with that haymaker. Ouch. Ooh, jeez. I thought I dodged that, I did not. Try to bait that attack if I can, it's pretty easy to punish. Went from doing much better to suddenly doing really badly because of getting hit by those haymakers. Come on. Shit. I didn't bait it readily enough. Come on, friendo. Right. Even with all the other, even though it's weird, it doesn't have internal consistency problems. You're exactly right. Oh, the double punches. Nice. Nice. It's pretty great. Yeah, it's that Zack Snyder problem where the individual scenes are all generally pretty cool, but like it doesn't know how to get from point A to point B at all. And you keep asking, like, why are we doing this? Why is this happening in this particular way? But he kisses you? That's funny. Ocelot clearly had a crush on Snake. I could see that. Yeah. They do. Yeah, it's hard to tell with Kojima. Raidenovich was funny to me at the time, now it feels a little offensive. I gotta end Old Snake with a haymaker, that's pretty awesome. I like that Volgin was a strong gay character, and the game didn't make a huge deal out of it. But it made Raiden his lover as a way to, like, make you think even less of Raiden. That's right, I forgot about Vamp being bi. That was a pretty early decision on the part of Kojima, huh? God. Ben is so pissed at me, I'm gonna turn on the cat cam real quick. He's closing his eyes. He closes them in hopes that by the time he opens them, he'll be fed finally. The way I perceive that. Meow. Big yawn. Still working on Hi Marty. I did get a new sound effect in the day. It didn't come up at all.
This is only the beginning, Snake.
Oh god, it's only the beginning because it really feels like the end after all that.
Into chaos. It'll be the Wild West all over again. No law, no order.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I was talking about that before you loot effects. The microwave sequence is the one part that really stuck with me. I thought was really well done. I'll actually type it out here.
Through battle, they will know the fullness of life. At last, our Father's will is out in heaven, is complete. Somewhere out there, I know he's laughing. We are beasts created by man. Unless the light is put out, the shadows cannot be erased. So long as there is light, erasing shadows will do no good. I am Liquid's doppelganger, and you are his. Just like your father. You're pretty good.
You're pretty good. Pretty good.
Sonny's program destroyed JD's brain, but left the brainstem intact. She analyzed Naomi's black box and separated the Patriots' control system from the vital lifelines of society. Water, air, electricity, food, medicine, communication, transportation. She cut off the Patriots' control while preserving modern civilization. Maybe it was her way of avenging Olga, her mother. Or maybe she wanted to shape the future into her own ideal image. Or maybe it was just one big defragmentation. Fox alive. The AI is truly a living thing. The Patriots' reign has crumbled away. And still, our civilization, a civilization that has thrived on war since the dawn of time, lives on. I wonder if we did the right thing. Naomi. What did we lose? What did we save?
Okay, so this is my only save, and then after this, it's all cutscenes back to back no saves in the middle. I think we'll call it early then, and then we'll watch the rest of it next week. But I will take a quick moment to talk about this because it's on the top of my head right now. So if you think about it, you think about the endings of stories. I'm going to borrow from Plinkett's prequel reviews of the Star Wars prequels, where he says, A New Hope is all building to the trench run on the Death Star. There's one thing to focus on. Empire has everybody getting to Cloud City. We're focusing on Luke's story and everyone else's story separately. And there's 3 things in Jedi, and then there's 4 things in Phantom Menace, and it gets really confusing. So this game is at least all building to one location, despite showing lots of different perspectives throughout the way. But I don't think most players have any idea what the fuck is happening. It's like, I have to go in through a microwave hallway to find GW to turn off John Doe? Like, you don't know what the stakes are. You don't know what's going to happen badly if you fail to do it. And then Naomi shows up and kind of reverses what your original plan is anyway. And you're not even really clear on why you're fighting Liquid Ocelot, other than that it's cool, right? So you think about, like, Metal Gear Solid 3, the final boss of MGS3 has so much built up to it. Like, the whole game is building up to this moment. You learned all of this information. You're fighting your mentor. It's super deep. You finish the fight, it feels satisfying, it's very emotional, and afterward they tell you that she wasn't a bad guy at all, that she was just being a patriot. And you're like, oh my god, that's super cool. That everything in the final mission all built up to one very specific thing and had a very specific purpose. Similarly, even though MGS2 is a clusterfuck at the end, like, it's all about Raiden getting free and him fighting Solidus and questioning whether Solidus is in the right or not, or whether or not he's going to be able to get away from the Patriots after all this is over. MGS1 is, let's stop this Shadow Moses thing. Let's stop Metal Gear Rex. Let's defeat Liquid. And even Metal Gear 1 and 2 kind of build very clear, concise conclusions. I don't know what the fuck's going on in MGS4. I've been trying really hard to pay attention. And they keep using... I don't think you can really put twists in that way about, like, what your motivation was and why you were doing something. You can use a twist like, oh, it turns out that the boss was actually a good guy and she was taking the fall for Volgan shooting the Davy Crockett, and she had to die to sacrifice her life for her country. Like, that's a cool twist because it adds even more gravitas and more oomph to what you just did. But here it's changing things so often that you're like, what am I doing? Why am I here? So I don't know. I guess we'll watch the final cutscenes after this. I'm really interested to see, given that Peace Walker came out after 4, like, how Peace Walker is tonally and from a pacing perspective. If it's as bad as 4, or if it's like, no, basically whenever Kojima's doing Big Boss, he's suddenly a sane, rational, good storyteller again. And also with 5, I know 5 has a lot of story problems just arising from the fact that it's unfinished, but even that I'm excited to see. So we're going to wrap a little early today. Next week, probably Thursday, we will open with an hour and a half of MGS4 cutscenes, and then we'll transition directly into Peace Walker. I'll make sure I have it set up and ready to go. Thanks, everybody, for watching today. I'll give you a heads up on what's coming up tomorrow and next week, now that Ben hasn't closed my computer on